if I let go, to hit.
So if you check out this full video by my friend Paul Musolf sensei up in Michigan, you'll see that they're playing with muchimidi, or sticky hands. And this is a way of practicing and developing tactile sensitivity. That would be the ability to tell what's happening by touch rather than sight. And they're forcing that by wearing goggles that are painted black so you can't see through them, essentially a blindfold. Now this is a great practice for karate practitioners because, as I've mentioned before, the curriculum of karate, which is in the kata, is primarily close-range fighting material for self-defense, law enforcement, and security work. And in those types of situations, because you're so close, you are going to be able to put hands on your opponent, and you can use that to your advantage. Because this is something that you generally have to develop. It's not a natural skill. And so that immediately puts you at a higher level than whoever you might be dealing with, because chances are they haven't practiced to develop their tactile sensitivity. And we also know that people tend to react much more quickly to touch than they do to sight. But we tend to default to sight in most circumstances. So by blindfolding themselves, essentially, they're forcing themselves to only rely on their touch reference. And that does take some time to develop, but it's a very useful skill. Now personally, when I have my students work this, normally I just tell them to close their eyes rather than actually covering their eyes. But I will say that one of the benefits of wearing safety goggles that are painted the way that they're doing in this video is that you can actually include finger strikes to the eyes because they're covered and protected. And that is something that I've done in the past, usually with swimming goggles, but safety goggles work too. You are able to, when your partner is wearing those, actually strike to the eyes without worrying about hurting them. Now, that was in circumstances where those goggles or safety glasses were not painted over, but it doesn't make a difference one way or the other if they are or not. But having them painted over that way does force you to rely on your tactile sensitivity and muchimidi, your sticky hands. Now, I highly recommend this practice for all karate practitioners, but especially karateka who are interested in the practical application of their kata, because, as I mentioned, the kata are close-range fighting material, and this sort of practice forces you to engage at close range constantly, which gives you a lot more opportunities to practice those kata applications without relying on a specific attack to respond to, which is usually how people are introduced to kata applications and to self-defense techniques. And of course, by adding the blindfolded aspect, you're forcing yourself to rely on that touch sensitivity so that you can develop that skill. And if you're using goggles the way they are in this video, you can attack the eyes, which are not normally a safe target to attack in your training, which is a great additional tool for you to be able to practice. So if you are a karate practitioner, I highly recommend that you give this practice a try. Record video of your experiences, throw them on the internet, because the more people see karate practitioners doing this, the more people will be interested in giving it a try.